here we are. We've got him right here. Sheik Sattaur from Union Bank, an official from the Union Bank. Hi, Sheik.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Now you're a VP with Union Bank in Huntington Beach.
Correct.
Okay, but you're also the chairman of the board of the Huntington Beach Chamber of Commerce, which is a good thing for the chamber and the community of Huntington Beach right now, because you've really been the front point person at your bank as well as for the Chamber of Commerce on this whole thing, man. I mean, it must be in a very short period of time. Well, let me ask you this. Have you gotten any sleep?
Yeah, I've intact most of my hair, so I'm really thankful for that. I know that it's cutting off a little bit, but it's there.
Very good. Okay. So what has happened? We know that the first go around was not 100%.
Yeah,
Something it happened, I think, because the federal government was trying to throw down so much cash, so much money through the SBA that there were going to be problems. There were going to be issues, and including perhaps issues, Sheik, from the people that were making the applications. Can you give us a quick highlight of what has happened and what seems to be the future for this? Because today, sir, the Congress passed another whopping bill to come down the pike.
right. Approximately 310 billion is going to be allocated specifically for the payment protection program, and that is going to help small businesses to deal with paycheck issues when it comes to this time frame. A huge benefit, especially in needing for it to be advanced, because when this came out, like you mentioned, Matt, it came out really quick, and banks were quick to react, trying their best to do what they need to do, but it was ever evolving, ever changing. The major things that are really important is, number one, knowing that you have to fill out the application completely. It's really important to know who is eligible, and that's really going to be your it's going to be your people that are small businesses that have employees, of course, number one. So, you're a single person, you're an employee, fantastic. Filling out that information and filling it out correctly, including your tax ID information, who's the ownership or not. Also, 501(c)(501(c)(3)s, nonprofit corporations actually can apply for this as well. Document and everything like that. So it's a really great loan.
Can you give us some hints about the $10,000 grant? Can you qualify that? That goes through the SBA, but that is still going on, correct?
Right. So that one's called the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. For short, it's called the EIDL. Now, that is something your banks are not doing. That goes directly from SBA.gov. You can fill out an electronic form, and you want to definitely do that within a certain time frame. I think you have until December of this year to file for that. They're initially doing a $10,000 advance while they're submitting that application, but you want to do that as quick as possible. And like I said, it's directly through the SBA. They've had this disaster relief options, specifically when pandemics or disasters happen. So this program has been around for a while.
Correct. Okay, so here's what I was told, and we haven't talked in a while, and you've been so busy. Thank you for all your work, by the way. It's been amazing. Thank you for your energy. But what I was told recently is that, hey, don't be discouraged. If you have an application in, the idea is to have an application in regardless, because here we go today, the Congress passed another $480 billion package to go through, like you had mentioned. And now you're in the queue. You're in that queue. So don't be just, don't feel down. Don't feel like it's left you, because here's some more, the dollars coming through, and you have as long as you have the application in, that's a good thing, right?
Right. So not everyone went through the process altogether and got funded, right? Because you only had a certain amount of funds given to everyone. So what our bank has done, I'm sure a lot of other banks have done, is that they're keeping their applications in the queue, fine-tuning the process. And once all these things go through, when you've already submitted your application, even though you didn't get your funds, when the next funding process goes through, which most likely might be Friday, when they fund it, everything's going to keep going like it normally does. So you'll see that all those institutions that are taking applications and those people that didn't get funded, making sure that they get streamlined through the process. That is the goal. The goal is to get an application in, and to make sure you supply the proper documentation. And you're talking specifically about the Paycheck Protection Program and not the EIDL. Just want to make sure we separate those two.
Yeah, let's separate.
Right. So the Paycheck Protection Program, it's really important. Key things that for documentation, if you have not supplied this already, I've noticed that when I'm looking at these files, there's some key takeaways, and that is 940s. You have 2019 940s, which in your returns, when you file for those as a corporation or other type of entity, you file for 940s for the year, or you'll file for 941s, and they'll need them for all 4 quarters or 941s, or they'll need just one of the 940 because it's for the whole year. And that is the magic documents that kind of gets you through, as well as completing your application. Some people that don't have 940s, like your sole proprietors, for instance, or your contract workers, they may not have 940s to provide. They'll want to provide their federal tax return, as well as W-2 information for 2019. And if you have 1099 MISCs, those are something that some contractors have. You can supply that as well.
So there are so many little tidbits to everything, but guess what? We're all going through this new together, and it's newer from your perspective, and it's newer from a lot of businesses that's going through this. So there's going to be issues, there's going to be bugs, but this will be worked out. What do you see for the future, starting, you say, maybe on Friday, example, tomorrow?
Well, I see the banks are going to be busy like they have been, and it's going to be people coming in to submit their applications, or to go online and submit applications. That's something new that banks have adapted to as well. It's really about just making sure that you're in communication with your bank and going through that. I think we're going to have a pretty solid process. I think banks have enough time now to adjust to the situation, and now they can actually, go through with what they need to have done. And I have to give the government a lot of credit for doing this on such short notice, and as well as the banks for adapting to the process as well. But we're all in this together, and I think it's, time is what you need to make sure everything perfect. And now we've got a little bit more time. I think things are going to go much smoother.
Hey, once again, Sheik, I want to thank you very much, buddy, for coming on tonight on short notice. Of course, this is on the heels of the House passing $480 billion plus to go right funneling through, supposedly helping that small business person out a little bit better, I think, right? So, and that's what we can see. So Sheik Sattaur from Union Bank and the chairman of the Huntington Beach Chamber of Commerce, we thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a great day, man.
And thank you for watching. More for you on the Huntington Beach Business News coming up. Bye now.